Welcome to the Golden Feather. Grab a pint, a plate, and pick your seat. Your hosts Vertek and Chibi Booty are back from their latest adventure.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Golden Feather. Today is April 9th, 2021. This is episode 75, Guilds Like Fungi. And we have our guest, Zara. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be on the show again. It's been a while.
It's been a long while.
Yes. And of course, we have the one, the only, Vertek.
Well, hi guys. Oh, hi. How's it going?
So, oops. I forgot that my computer does that thing. There's that new thing with the Windows 10 where you can just put things side by side and they split the screen in half. I keep forgetting that's a thing.
Chibi, you're quiet.
I'm quiet. Oh no.
Ooh, that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. Maybe let's try this. Okay. So we have some podcast updates, and one of those is that, as some of you may have noticed by now, with the numerous pings, if you follow our YouTube, we are catching up, and we have already uploaded episodes 40 through 44 as of today, with 45 going live tomorrow morning. Feel free to check out our YouTube channel. You could do !YouTube. Well, look who it is. It's Frosty Coffee, who we just had on the episode that we listed today.
Just posted up. Yeah.
Was it
Look
this
at that.
one or was it this one? It was the second one. Okay, sorry. !YT for YouTube. So yeah, just as a little update. But aside from that, we're gonna just keep working on pretty much filing those out for you guys. Oh my goodness. Paradox Gaming.
Well, hello.
Rating with 98. Oh my goodness.
Welcome, Paradox.
Wow.
People from
Episodes are long.
Paradox. Hello.
Too many people seeing my face. Not comfy.
Oh no.
You've been exposed. You've been exposed to the world.
Hello. Welcome in. I am Chibi. This is Vertek. We're the Golden Feather. Please welcome and grab your seats. Get comfy. We got moved. What sorcery is this?
Ravuda. Hey, that was on.
Hello.
We were going to be talking about you today, at least a little bit, with your little, your recent art doodly dad with the character screens.
Indeed. Oh, thank you so much, Theater Elf, for the 100 bits cheer. I appreciate you. And all the lovely follows coming in. Hello. Welcome. All right. So that is pretty exciting for just getting into the beginning of it here. Yes, thank you so much. We have Zara, who is our guild leader, and
That is me. I am a leader of a guild.
of the guild. And she's going to be talking to us about perspective of a guild leader in terms of some of the more recent series that Ashes of Creation has started. Now, I wanted to make this mention just because it's something that Vertek and I like to do. Vertek and I, are part of a guild, but as the party of five, goodness, the Golden Feather, as the Golden Feather, we don't have, as a podcast, any like specific allegiances, but if you're looking for a good guild, Vertek and I, and Sauce, who says ahem in the chat, are all a part of Nexus. So, yes.
And we're there for a reason.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sos. Thank you.
Yes, I agree. Thank you. Welcome in. Yes, thank you for the follows, as Horrendous says. All right, so guest intro. Zara, who are you, aside from our guild leader?
I am a gamer of MMORPGs. I do like that. I play a lot of Apex, and I like leading my community And I'm really interested in, the whole creation of guilds and the process of them to begin with. That's what drew me in the first place, along with just meeting the community and, forming a relationship with everybody.
Okay.
Wow.
And what is Nexus about for you?
Nexus originally started off as a means to make friends. Then it slowly grew into something a bit more competitive in mind, something more diligent, I'd say, and became an actual community revolved around the MMORPG genre and just, gaming in general.
Okay. So have you been keeping up with the Ashes of Creation's newest series, Guild discussions, I think is what it was called?
Guild Gatherings.
Guild Gatherings. Thank you. I read it and then it went.
It's like the thing where you look at your watch and then you ask what time it is and then you have to look again.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I definitely see it pop up on my Twitter feed. This is the first time actually discussing it with anybody, so yeah.
Okay. Part of our purpose of bringing you on today was not only to kind of get an insight as to why you brought Nexus together, but also kind of be able to chat a little bit more from a guild leader, guild creator's perspective on these guild gathering chats. And one of them is kind of based around the guild retention and recruitment. How does something like that, what kind of tools, or does having the tools, how important is something like that for you in game and then out of game as a guild leader?
So far, depending on the game, of course, games that are currently out, you have a huge benefit of recruiting players in game just because you have the ability to invite them and talk to them and show your own prowess in game. Whereas in a game such as Ashes of Creation, it's really difficult to say who you are with them knowing exactly who you are. It's really difficult for them to actually get a good understanding of what the guild will be about before the game is out. Overall, I find it really encouraging or exciting to recruit outside of the game because it is it's kind of difficult. So it gives myself practice on how to, assimilate, a group.
Yeah. I know that one instance of guild recruit that I find important is being able, I remember back being on World of Warcraft when I think I was older teens when I started getting my own account, and guilds would say, hey, if you want to join our guild, check out this website link. And I started seeing that guilds had more of their own website where you can kind of see more about the guild and what they value, etc. But I think also being able to have some sort of tracking or information in game, like you were mentioning, is important as a player side of this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. One of my favorite ways to recruit is through Discord, and definitely having a website is a huge asset, I'd say, as far as showing if you're serious or not to a certain extent, because your website is your face, your Discord is your face, it's the image of your guild and everything like that. So Discord recruitment is quite nice, especially since there's an abundance of players who are interested in, coming to Ashes and looking for a community to get involved in. So it's more enjoyable to see huge waves of people come into the Discord and actually want to join.
Yeah. I think since my time of gaming, and maybe I might be a little bit young for some of you, but I remember back when I first started playing video games, my dad was with World of Warcraft. I think I was 13 or 14. He had all of his guild on what was that, Team Talk or TeamSpeak, and they had like the guild's TeamSpeak, and I'd hear people like pop in and stuff like that, and that has really translated over to Discord, where we can have those kind of raid wide, groups and stuff like that. It's just, with technology comes more tools, and having the ability to maybe schedule out those raids and stuff like that. And I think that's a lot more than what TeamSpeak could have offered in the first place.
It's something super lacking for Discord, though, when they don't offer certain features that guilds need to have, such as being able to talk to your other officers, and the whisper function that TeamSpeak offers is super important in scenarios such as raids. They could also add just things to help track events and timing, like in calendars and scheduling and stuff like that. That's all stuff that they could easily add, but they're missing out on, and things like Gilded offer that. Not saying that I promote Gilded in any way, but it's something that I hope that they take a step forward in relatively soon to help us communities.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's some Band-Aid stuff they can do. I mean, I'd agree that when it comes to just pure voice, TeamSpeak has always been a king for all that stuff when it comes to pure voice, but Discord brings so many different social aspects. Like how neat is it going to be now if doing some of the guild meetings and such? Discord has the stage thing. Oh,
the priority speaker, and the new asset that they just added, live. I forgot what it was called, but they just added that, and I definitely intend on using it for the further guild meetings.
How successful would you say Discord has been for you with recruiting people?
Oh, immensely successful. I grew this Discord that I have now from 2017 when I first started the community, just based off of 5 people joining. And then eventually it bandwagoned and grew, and there was established community there. So I think that as far as recruitment goes, Discord does a pretty solid job at that and helps assist all users with that in general. For any, even outside of guilds, communities in general.
Yeah. Hello, Cash Kush. Welcome in. Thank you for following Ambassador. Ambassador. I can't. I'm sorry.
Ambassador. That's what I'm going to call it. Ambassador.
Welcome.
There's a badass in there somewhere.
All I see is ass.
Welcome to my... wait, no, never mind.
Can't you have ranks in Discord and assign people to different channels? So you could have an officer chat. Yes, Shoei. Yeah. That is possible. Yes, you are correct.
You definitely can. It's just all the matter of switching between those channels and being able to talk to them. Whereas you'd rather save time and not have to, tab out to switch and then discuss, and only just to go back to the channel you were once in. That's why these other features are super important. So you can quickly get it done, because when you're in a raid or you're getting attacked from somebody, you're going to have that split second amount of time to make decisions and call out. So it's really difficult to filter the information that you need to push outward.
Yeah, in TeamSpeak, you had a hotkey where you could just whisper to a group or whisper to certain people. You could set it up beforehand. That way, like she was saying, in the middle of a raid, you could quote unquote yell at somebody in the raid who's supposed to be, guiding other people into doing something without yelling at them. They know you're not actually angry with them, but it would sound like you're calling them out if you say it in the middle of a raid, or you could be interrupting somebody else saying stuff. But if you just have a whisper key, real quick hotkey there to just say, hey, get that done, go. Like you can be as short as you want to be, and it doesn't sound like jarring to anybody else.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like nobody else would hear that.
Yeah, it's like having multiple push-to-talk keys, and you can set it up by groups or individuals.
Nice. Okay, here's another thing. Their most recent one, posted on March 31st, posted on March 16th and edited on March 31st with the feedback was guild halls. What guild hall features would you like to see in Ashes of Creation? What features have you liked from other games? And what features do you think have been missed opportunities?
Overall, I think guild halls have been pretty lackluster in the games that I played, such as Terra and Guild Wars 2. There's definitely functions and features that are good to have, but nothing so, there isn't an incentive to actually want to be there all the time, or at least, go there for quote unquote rendezvous or whatever, but I think that features in general that I would like to see is something that encourages members to come there in the first place. So if it's, crafting stations, anything like that could support their sort of main goal as a player. That would be nice. Training stations where you could duel other players, teach them certain moves and maneuvers in a safe space in the first place. So not necessarily on a private freehold, you could do it in the guild hall. That would be really nice as well.
Oh, I just thought of something the other day. Actually, that brings it right to mind. So you know how there is this ongoing debate about damage meters and such?
Yeah.
How cool would it be if you could get dummies in specific areas of either towns or guild halls, or like the castles that you have to PvP for, and you could actually charge people admission to use them?
That would be pretty interesting.
Like
That
if you
would
could
be
spec
nice.
your guild out to be like a PvE rating guild, and you could just charge other guilds to like bring their people in to use your damage meters, or if that's something you could spec guild points into, like your guild hall could have the damage meter dummies to go in there and practice on.
Yeah,
That's
that definitely
also-
depends on permissions if they allow that.
I was also thinking on a different version of that. What would be cool is using the guild hall dummies to see how your guild is doing overall. Kind of like have one person attack one dummy, another person of the same class, or maybe even a different class combo attack another dummy, and have them both attacking at the same time to see who's doing more damage, and kind of ask them what they're doing differently, what gear they have differently. Or maybe it could be a good way for your newer cleric X to rank up to your older cleric X, and maybe fine tune how much healing they're putting out to make sure that the raid is staying alive. Things like that.
Yeah, I think overall it would be really beneficial to have a place like that. That's what a guild hall kind of means to me, is a place that you can help your guild members and help them progress in a positive way outside of the main world, where there could, potentially be casualties and whatnot. But, just having a safe spot where they can go to and, just to hang out or practice.
Yeah, 5 dummies, level 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 would be cool. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that
At
would
least for
be-
the starting. Horrendous has a question for you. How are you going to establish who gets to be in the main guild, like less than 300 in Ashes? Most points, etc.?
Sorry, let me read the question. Oh, okay. So for games like Ashes, fortunately, we have other MMOs that we can refer to establish which players are doing the most and how they're participating in the community. So based off of how well they do in another game, I would, get an inkling of where they're going to belong, if they're going to be prioritized or not. And not necessarily a point system, but more sort of like a vetting system. You're vetted, you've contributed, you put in the hours. So I would be able to use that as a referral. But if, let's say I didn't have these other MMORPGs, it would just be process a time thing. So also a vetting system. You would show up for your dungeons, you would show up for the raids, etc. And then of course you would become vetted, so you would be put on a roster that would say so.
Okay. And as somebody who's been from within this guild for a little while, she has some pretty good ideas on how to kind of track who's doing what in different ways. It's not just who's online every single day doing this, that, or the other. It's how are you contributing? Are you helping other people even offline in terms of like with their stuff? Like, are you crafting stuff to help the guild? Not necessarily always fighting, but maybe you're putting a lot of your time and resources into crafting stuff and things like that. So very good ideas. Probably one of the few guilds I've been in that has recognition in terms of more ways than just are you online every single day.
Yes.
Thank you. I like it. Hey,
Phoenix Fire, welcome in.
So this my fellow neckbeards, I'm gonna assume it's a guy. Had a question that normally we ask everybody anyway. What is one thing you're looking forward to in Ashes? Like he's hooked on the bounty hunter thing.
So I gotta say, overall, I'm excited to see the caravan system. It'll be a lot of BMing and a lot of toxicity, I have a feeling, but it'll be super interesting to see how it plans out because it's been forever since the start of Ashes, where that was like such a huge highlight to me. The open world PvP and then, attacking and defending. I'd really like to see how that would play out. But beyond that, I think probably a lot of the things that they said that they would work on, such as like the expansions with underwater and then, ships and stuff like that, because that's such a huge responsibility to take forth. And not a lot of games do that well. So I'd really like to see how they go about doing that.
Yeah, I'd have to say for me, it's probably going to be a tie between just saying the generic nodes and everything to do with nodes, and then just exploring a new world.
Yeah, sure.
Like just exploring a new game. It's going to be something new. There's going to be so many systems that I have not experienced before. Some other people have because you played some games I haven't. Like I haven't touched Lineage or Arcade. Lineage 2 rather, or Arcade. So there's some systems in both of those that are being drawn from heavily that I haven't touched before. And that's kind of exciting to me to see what I see as being something brand new I've never experienced before. And it's being described as something that's great, but they're planning on tweaking it to make it even more personalized to the Ashes feel.
Yeah.
Makes me really happy. Yeah, especially a large game with limited fast travel, exactly. Like Vale Miss Morden said. And also, by the way, Vec all the way.
Vec all the way.
Yes, I cannot wait to play Vec. I'm hoping they actually dig deep in like lore-based questing for all the races as you progress through. And, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's greatly appreciated.
That was super unexpected. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm aware that the chat thing, even though it's like this long, is only showing this much. We're working on really fine-tuning our new updates, including this little like what section we're on area. So it's not going to take up all of the scroll yet, but I'll work on that.
Yeah.
But moving on along to the community spotlight, I was kind of hoping that they would soon be doing more of those guild gatherings, and hopefully they will. I did hear, I think it was Sumerg's podcast, that maybe it was Theory Forge. Either way, I heard on one of the other podcasts that Steven had mentioned something about wanting to get back to doing the dev diaries and stuff like that, but it being a lot easier for them being in a singular space for them to be able to do that, rather than everybody like dispersed at home working remotely. So on the topic of Steven and Sumerg, Sumerg will be hosting Steven Sharif on his podcast this Sunday, so please don't miss it. Feel free to check out his Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Sumerg. And be there for any interesting leaks, because usually where there's a Steven, there's a leak.
And if you check out his Discord and you look in the announcement section, you'll see he's actually even asking for questions. If you have any you'd like asked, hit him up.
Yeah.
Hit him up.
Yes. But moving into some of the stuff that we've found, either through the forums, the Reddit, or Twitter, is there anything that piqued your interest?
Oh, me personally?
Yeah.
I like to stalk the guild recruitment pages. That's about all I do on the forums these days, is look at all the new guilds. When I see a new guild, it gets me really excited, just because I like to see their recruitment process, their logo, their Discord, the way they format things. It's kind of my nerdy thing that I like a lot. So it's what I look at most. And just seeing new ones specifically, not like, the same old guilds. You're kind of used to it, the people already, but seeing the new people come into the game and attempt to, make a stake or make a claim there and establish themselves a little is really exciting to me.
I'm sorry, you had me at make a steak. Are you grilling?
Make a steak.
What's going on?
Yes, really? I wish.
It's the hunger speaking.
We just ate. I just got you mezza.
I know. I want more. But anywho, you were gonna say? Sorry.
I mean, beyond that, in general, I think that a lot of the community creations are really nice. I like seeing a lot of the custom art, the custom stories. That's nice, because I kind of like the creativity that comes with that. I don't know beyond that necessarily,
Yeah, and that's fair. That's actually some of our favorite things also. It's pretty much why we like to have our favorite fan focus area, because pretty much we like seeing people that do, was it Voxov who does the comics, and Z with the clay art, and
for sure,
just
a goddess.
Right. It's so nice seeing just this community. The community is so alive for a game that's not quite ready to be out there yet, and I love seeing this stuff coming through. That's actually how we find some of our guests, as we go through the new podcasters. We like to have them on here so that we can kind of introduce them to you guys. At the end of the day, we want to shed as much light on some of the things that we love from the community with you, so that you can love them also if you haven't seen them already. So for that mention real quick, sorry. For those of you that are new here, we are not welcome to Regular Hood Cash. We are not a news-based podcast. We are a community-based podcast. So we will interact with you when you guys ask us questions, at least when we're not in the middle of answering or in the middle of a discussion. And we will find out what you guys are talking about on the forums and on Reddit and everywhere else that we could possibly find your stuff. We will find it and we will share it if we like it.
Yeah. And Neckbeards, like Horrendous said there, 300 is going to be the max. I think Steven said something that's going to start at 50 or something like that. Then you gotta, as the guild grows, you start chipping more points into it, and you gotta choose between skills or population in your guild. So if 300 is the max, that means you're going to be pretty bare bones for having any talents or skills for helpfulness to the guild members.
Yes. Hello, Tennyson. Welcome in. So you were going to talk about something from the community spotlight area.
Oh yeah, it was. So one thing that caught my attention, someone named Penguinos, which I like that name, by the way, Penguinos.
He was going on about that name for a few minutes earlier.
Lies, I would never. But they brought up something that would be interesting. And I mean, I'm not sure if it would really be a thing, but they were talking about multiplayer crafting, not like you make a part and then they make a part and then they make a part and you put it all together to make one thing, but actual cooperative crafting. Now, my only question on that and concern on that would end up being something like, the herding cats. And, since we have someone on here who's leading a guild, might know something about herding cats. What would you think about multiplayer required crafting? Like getting multiple crafters to smash buttons at the same time to make something happen.
I think it's an interesting idea. It's not something I've ever considered to be a thing just because I'm so used to the whole theme park MMO experience. So it'd be a really cool addition to a game. I think especially when it comes to, it would probably, in my mind specifically, be legendary items, or not legendary items, but higher tier items that require like an immense amount of, responsibility. So involving the other player to help you out, that would be interesting to see. Have multiple people do that. I could see that working out. I don't think it would necessarily be a negative influence to the game. I don't see, or at least right away, how it could be abused in any, sense.
It could only be abused by trying to work with the wrong person and they don't help you complete the item.
Yeah.
But
or I guess it depends on who initiates it gets the item. So maybe they offer to help you initiate it, but they get the item. So I don't know. If it comes to any situation like that, that's kind of your own gullibleness, but I can see how that would be an issue.
If you're working with tight guildies and such, it shouldn't be too much of a
exactly.
problem.
It wouldn't be.
Well, as Horrendous points out, there is currently multiplayer summoning. So for those of you that, I'm sure by now, a lot of you know, but for those of you that don't, if you have 8 of the same class type, like let's say 8 summoners, you can summon a much larger thing together. The thing that comes to mind for me when I hear multiplayer crafting is Mage Tower for World of Warcraft, where everybody works together and over time gives resources to build the Mage Tower. But I guess it's gonna be similar in Ashes of Creation, with like building the blacksmith and stuff, where you go out and you get the stones and the wood and you help build that. But something like that came to mind over like a mini game. I'm interested in seeing how that could possibly pan out should they do something like that.
In survival games in general, I guess it's kind of a more spaced out version of multiplayer crafting, because you're gathering the resources, you're building the stuff together, but it's not exactly, hands on, I'm, hammering, you're whatevering. So I can see that working because of how, working with another person in a survival game works, where you have to get the materials together and you have to work together.
Yeah.
So,
like the example they used was like making mochi. One person would be, hammering it, and the other person would be flipping it.
Yeah.
Hammer, flip, my toe.
Oh.
But yeah, I don't know. I could see it kind of being a circus, but outside of that, I think I like the idea of the dependencies between one craft artisan and another craft artisan. Like you need to say have a leathersmith and an armor smith work together to make scale armor or what have you.
Yeah.
That I think is really cool. And I think Steven even said like all the artisan classes are going to have to work with each other. So
yeah,
to an extent, yeah.
Definitely, I can see how that would work out, especially since you can only be, a jack of all trades or just go down that one main line. So if you do choose to go down that main line and you need to create something that requires a second person, that would be actually quite an addition. That would be exciting to see happen, and not just feel like kind of helpless in a certain scenario, because, that also gives you an incentive to want to join a guild in the first place, or hit up the forums or hit up the Discord asking for help if somebody could help you. But yeah.
So here's another thing where I ended up finding on the forums. So Oh, actually, wait. First, Veil Mistwarden. I love the AOC is having the PvE and PvP folks working together instead of there being such a rift between the two. Yeah, it's going to be kind of required because some of the best armors. Yeah, the best armor, when you think about it, the best armor is going to come from crafters who get the items from people who go into PvE raids.
Yeah.
Who are probably going to be protected to some degree or another by people who are PvPing to keep away like scavengers and other people from going into these open world raids. So
yeah,
I mean, there's all three: the life skillers, the PvEers, and the PvPers, all kind of having to work hand in hand to get the best gear out of it.
Yeah.
So I like it.
Nice.
But adding on to that, here's a pure opinion piece, because I don't think there's been any mention of anything like this really coming into Ashes. But have you played? Well, I know you've played it, but have you gone into like House of the Dead and such in Final Fantasy 14?
Unfortunately, not yet. Hopefully soon. I've just been super busy. But yeah, I've heard a lot about it.
Because I heard there's also a similar thing with the new expansion for World of Warcraft. I didn't play that one though, so I can't speak to that. But basically the theory behind it is that there's, say, 200 floors you have to go through, and every single floor gets tougher and tougher and tougher. Like more enemies, the enemies are tougher, and you start with nothing and you build up as you go through. Yeah. And that's all you really have. It's kind of like a BR but on a marathon run.
That would be pretty intense.
But I think it would be something nifty to add in. I'm not sure if it would have a really good place in Ashes, at least right off the bat. Maybe down the line there could be a lore aspect to it, like trying to ascend, how there's the different realms. Trying to ascend to a different realm to, go knock on the door of, a god that needs to come back and help us push it straight because the harbingers are really jacking things up. Come down and help, please.
I can definitely see how it's already in position in Ashes without the whole starting from like level 1 and then getting gear from that dungeon and expanding outward. It's kind of like it's a level 15 dungeon that's basically endless. So if they just added that incremental system that you're talking about, I can see how that would work, unless they already talked about that. I don't know about their drops or whatever, if it would cater to the lower levels, if they would have that kind of variety that would make that work yet. But I would actually be super interested in seeing something like that.
Yeah, the way it worked, at least in Final Fantasy, was you got gear that leveled up with you in a sense. So you'd earn a piece of gear and then you would just keep powering that up as you progress through. So it would start off as the lowest thing, but it worked hand in hand. You just had to make sure you didn't get yourself dead.
Yeah.
But sorry, D2 Phoenix Fire. Yeah, some crafters could take care of yourselves. I know, but as a whole,
right.
Many are very bookwormish and very much like, not like that you can't go out into the world and do stuff, but you get very focused on what you're doing.
He's meaning me.
I would never.
It's okay. I'm not taking it as a negative. Horrendous wants to know, I'll wait on that part, but he wants to know later about your opinion on cosmetics. Speaking of cosmetics, every month I change out this like little thing up here to reflect the new month's cosmetics. And I just wanted to point out this month, Rotec has decided that the house is not a player's house. It is a pet's house, as you can tell by the size of the pet and the size of the door.
It is a pet motel. It's not. It's not a freehold house. It's a pet motel.
Yep. Also, I couldn't figure out a good way to portion size it for a small background. Yeah,
I think it looks good. It does.
Thank you.
It's funny. We're like, let's put it here. It'll block off that big bunch of wood on the beach. And then we realized that's a really small door for those people to fit into.
Yeah. I love by the way, welcome to our Discord, Bringer of Glory. An ancient alchemist house or a Toldar house. Yes, it does look cool. I agree.
Tolnar house. Yeah, I like that. Actually.
Yeah, it could be a small Tolnar. Yeah, it crawls on its tummy, so it has a tall enough door to, go through maybe. Still.
You know what? I didn't get a chance to read the lore on that. I wonder if...
we'll get there.
Yeah. I wonder some things, but I'll wait.
So, Ashes apparently needs good writing, question mark?
Yeah, question mark. Yeah, I was curious
toss this
about
link
that.
in there for you.
Because think about this honestly and critically with everybody that you know that plays MMOs. How many people do you know that actually obsess over reading through the storyline as they go and reading through the quest lines and really experiencing all the little hidden like slates of whatever that you can click on and just get a little bit of lore out of it? How many people do you know that actually obsess over that and really read through it and really pay attention?
Genuinely a small percentage.
Well, like most people, they wait to hear the summary from somebody else who makes a content creator video out of it.
Exactly.
Oh, this is great. Yeah, so this is what really happened, and they summarize it all up, and that's what most people wait for, really. So like this person says that Ashes needs good writing, which I'm not gonna say no against, but I think that, I mean, somebody else pointed this out in another podcast the other day about MMORPGs don't really need excellent writing. They need excellent systems to keep people engaged. Single player RPGs need excellent writing because those are the ones you get absorbed in and you yourself are just focused on.
I think especially, sorry to cut you off, like since there's going to be a cap at some point with like leveling and just progression, you're going to just be doing dungeons at some point. You've done a lot of the quests in your zone, and I mean there will be a lot of fetch quests and quests in general, I assume, but you're going to do most of the content for the main storyline, and at that point there's not anything else for you to go off of. So that's your cap, that's kind of like a reason on why the writing wouldn't be great, because you're just going to be doing the end game continuously. But I think Steven is going to make sure that it's going to be good, because from what I've read, I definitely think that he's put time and thought into it, especially for something so early.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off again.
Oh, no worries. This is a discussion. Besides, I tend to babble on after a while, so feel free to cut me off at any time. But yeah, like me, if I'm honest with myself, I love lore and I love reading about the everything that's going on and following the story, but I tend to rush through with my first character. Yeah. And then my second character is, oh my gosh, now that I have this up here, I need this as well because so-and-so needs a whatever. Yeah. And then I kind of rush through with the second one, and then by the time I get to a third character, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take my time with this one, and then I actually read everything along the way.
I unfortunately feel like it's not going to be the case in Ashes where you have the luxury to do that necessarily, because of how the world is going to be changing consistently. So the things that you were going to be able to experience at one point, you won't necessarily be able to experience again. So when it comes to like dialogue, if a dragon comes out of a volcano or something, you should probably read that dialogue unless somebody records it, because it's going to be something that happens, once in a full moon. But I do think that in the standard MMO, that is kind of my system as well.
Yeah, and that actually is a solid point on the other side of the table, is you may not want to skip stuff because that node could be completely different next time you pass through, and you'll never see that dialogue again for the rest of your gaming time.
Yeah.
But yeah, also the other point that this closer person mentions is that the node system, with how it is and even touching on your idea, like with how much the nodes are going to change, there needs to be a lot of writing done too.
Mm-hmm. There's going to be so much content.
There's so many different situations.
Yeah. Thank you. That actually takes me right on to the next thing. Are we, is there anything else we want to touch on with the flavor text and the writing?
Oh, I'm good. I've said my piece.
we will head on over into Ash's news. And the thing that Sonic just voted on is actually the new our choose your own adventure, I guess, for this week. I guess they're doing weekly, right? This week's Ashes of Creations choice. So last week we chose what we were going to advance in. Was it going to be armor or weaponsmithing? And weaponsmithing won. So this week we have, with our blacksmith complete and our skills up to par, we discover that our precious jewel is a potent source of latent essence that we can use to bolster our power. Now, what should we make with this gem? Should we craft a glorious bow or create a glorious sword? And it should allow you to use ! To vote.
Everybody's saying sword, so I'm going to go with bow here.
It should tell you if you voted properly. You might need to do ! Vote first. But let me just check.
Or like
on
that.
this.
Yeah, like that.
Is it counting?
What?
Are you seeing it? I'm just going to try this. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So ! Vote and then ! The one you want. Yeah, like that. There you go. Horrendous has it.
I'm sorry, I'm a tank. I gotta do the sword.
I just chose bow just to practice. So there we go. There we go. Thank you guys so much.
Sure you
Sorry
did.
about that.
I need a sword to keep you people safe.
I actually, my first ever D&D character and World of Warcraft character was a huntress. So I've since then put down the bow for a staff to heal my fellow friends. The other thing that I wanted to chat about is their new dev discussion, which is on mentoring, which is another thing that I have lovely Zara here for. And that is, mentoring is something that I think is really, really important. They were saying that for their questions, what kinds of tools or rewards most encourage you to become involved in a mentorship program, either as a mentor or a mentee? And I want to answer that question, but I want to alter it a little, if you don't mind.
Sure.
What kind of either rewards or benefits would make you want to participate, or do you think would make guildmates want to participate in a guild mentoring kind of thing?
I think rewards is kind of an interesting statement in a situation like this, because you would want to learn as a player and as a guild member. It's not something that you just want to shoo away. So an incentive to want to actually learn, I don't think is necessary. So when it comes to mentoring, you as a member are already encouraged to be a mentee. You want to know more. You want to be more efficient as a player. And especially if you're involved in the game and are actually excited about the game, it shouldn't be necessarily something that I have to convince you to do as a guild leader or an officer or otherwise. So when it comes to mentoring, I think that just letting them be comfortable and knowing exactly what the steps are that we're taking and how we're going to assist them in general, because pushing forward in a negative way can be really discouraging on a player and leave a bad taste in their mouth. So I definitely want them to feel like I'm treating them as another person, as like on my level when I'm talking to them. You know, there's no superiority complex to mentoring. I'm just here to inform you on how to do something so you can benefit from it. I'm assuming that's what you mean by mentoring.
Or being the mentor, the one who mentors the new people coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So in general, like somebody who is... Go ahead.
There's the mentor and the mentoree. So the person being mentored and the person mentoring.
Like say someone of a veteran rank that would walk someone through the ropes of, hey, this is how you play. This is what we're going to do when we go to dungeons. This is as a warrior, what you need to focus on is this.
Yeah.
Etc.
So I don't know exactly how to word it properly. I think that overall, being a mentor, there's different levels of responsibility that a person should have. So I think that would be better for them to, streamline their focus on one thing instead of everything. So as my responsibility, I don't think I would necessarily mentor everyone just because I have to be a jack of all trades to some extent. I can't, streamline all the information and be super precise on everything just because it's not necessarily my responsibility. That's where officers and other members come into play to actually support the lower members who really want to try to figure out how to play properly. But in order to encourage them, it's just like witnessing progress in general is super encouraging to me as a player. I like to know that I'm doing better. I like to see myself physically getting better and cutting my time in half when I'm doing certain dungeons or, mobs or PvP, anything like that, just being able to learn more. But I think that kind of sums up what I have to say. I don't know if I hit all the marks on that one.
It was more so the perspective of a guild leader. Like, how would that augment a little bit more towards, like, as a guild leader, what would you hope to see out of it? For your guild mates, the people that are a part of your guild, and hopefully wanting to automatically learn. And that's actually something that Theater Elf responded with. He said that. They said, I think the act is its own reward. And then
yes, exactly. If they said the act is its own reward, is so true. It speaks so loud to me because it's like, I'm not necessarily going to grant you with a golden sword just because you learned how to dodge properly.
Yeah.
That is something you should definitely want to learn on your own.
Yeah. And then Vel Mist Warden says, I also like that bosses will change mechanics and loot tables as you improve also. So always wanting to get better means that you're always going to have a new challenge to face. For me, this kind of speaks to playing D&D and then meeting the boss that you're not meant to fight the first time around and win, but you're meant to fight them but be heavily injured when they run away, but then you face them for the second time and you're like, oh man, the last time was really bad, but I've gotten stronger now, and it seems like they also got stronger. So you're finding that out through the fight. And then it's just this reality level sinking in of oh man, this is not going to be just a stomp and squash fight. This is it's going to take some skill to get through this, Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the things that's really exciting for me with the bosses there. But with the mentoring thing, I think in a guild, just to kind of give my insight as well on that, I think in a guild, you're really kind of looking for the people to put in authoritative roles and responsible roles for the development of more junior members, those that actually want to succeed for success's sake and take pride in the continual improvement of the guild and being able to just literally say I helped do that. I brought these people up and now they're boss raiders, or that's the best bard on our server because I taught them what I knew and then they did better, or something like that. But
make your senpai proud.
Yeah.
One thing I do have to say is in disagreement with Horrendous. I can see how you think that hardcore guilds don't have the time to mentor new members, or they're hardcore for a reason, quote unquote. Definitely the members in a hardcore community would probably have better game sense than most, but when it comes down to actually learning and getting information, it's never an issue to explain something or assist another player. That's how you become even more fluid and hardcore at what you're doing. So I don't think it's really necessarily only for casual guilds.
I think coming from a different perspective, being the person on the outside of that, is more like wanting to get into a hardcore guild, but they don't seem to want to help mentor you to get in. It's more like you must be this level already or you're not getting in. And you're like, but I want to be that level, but how do I be that level? I need help. You know? So.
I
think that's where it's... Oh, no, after you.
No, please. No. Please.
All right. So I was going to say, I think there's also a little disconnect between those two thoughts, where most of everything lives in the middle between the two, because a lot of the hardcore guilds that I know I've been in and been friends with and participated with, they don't have what most guilds do, where they have the raid team. They don't have the raid team. They have the first raid team, the second raid team, and the third raid team. And there's a constant progression. There's new people that come into the guild. They're not responsible for jack. They're a bench warmer for the third raid team. You know, it's more about a personality thing and like testing them out in dungeons and things like that. But then they get in the third raid team, they develop some good skills and so on and so forth. And then they move on up as time goes along. But that third raid team is there for specifically that purpose, for mentoring people, for, hey, we see that you're already good, but we're going to make you better. We're going to teach you how to do the min-max stuff and not stress yourself out about it, like to do it in a smart way, and teach you how to learn boss mechanics in a smart way, teach you how to work with a team the smart way, instead of just, hey, listen to whatever everybody else tells you. No, you need to give some feedback too. Maybe not right in that moment when they're making a decision, but afterwards you need to have feedback about that decision they made and how it negatively impacted something or positively impacted something. So there's some of the hardcore guilds will do that. There's some that are very, very full tilt hardcore.
Yeah.
That's where I think the extreme.
I think there is a spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the same way where there's people that are absolutely not hardcore at all, and they'll take offense if you just tell them how to do something better on their character.
Yeah.
I think there's that extreme is as frequent as the super hardcore guild that's all about one raid team and doesn't want to help mentor anybody.
One of the bigger benefits of having a game that isn't released is the betas and the alphas. So being able to prepare in that time actually gives you such an advantage as a player who's 100% confident in themselves, and gives you plenty of time to actually figure out those, underlining questions of like, what am I doing? I need help. All that stuff that comes with time is all in the betas. Obviously they tweak certain things, so
there's going to be everybody saying I don't know what I'm doing for a really long time.
Yes.
Even after the betas, everyone's going to say, so what's the best way to do this? And you're going to see 9,000 eyes turn to them and go, I don't know, try something. What do you want to try first? Let's give it a go.
Right. It's a great question. Okay,
so item level or gear score?
Yeah,
item level or gear score, TQQ flesh. As of right now, there's nothing like that even planned for Ashes. I think it's really going to be like there might be an item level on something as a general indicator, but they've kind of shot down anything like even damage meters being in existence.
Yep.
So I doubt they're going to do things like having a major indicator as far as power, so much as something general that'll give you a ballpark, like you're using max level gear at the end.
Yeah. Our last part of the news is that there is now a new cosmetic, going back to what we were talking about earlier. These up here are the new cosmetics, but first, Huron just wanted to know, Zara, what is your perspective or your opinion on cosmetics?
Overall, I love cosmetics, and I don't, I'm going to stereotype women or girl gamers. We all love cosmetics as far as I'm concerned. I've never met one that hates cosmetics remotely.
Oh my God, I hate cosmetics.
Yeah, like cash off. No, I mean, personally, I really like them, but cosmetics in the way of cash up items. I definitely don't mind them. I probably would buy an outfit or something like that. But, sometimes in-game gear is super nice, especially if you can mix and match and, not augment, what's it called when you cover your armor with an appearance?
Transmog.
Thank you. So, I kind of prefer doing stuff like that. And there's a lot of items in cash shops that are kind of redundant from what I've seen in most KR games. You got the school outfits and stuff like that. So I'm not usually down for stuff like that. I kind of like looking like how the game intended, but we'll see. I guess, game intended is kind of out there.
Right. That's fair. It's just...
Everybody knows I'm hooked on the cosmetics myself, so...
Oh, yeah. I almost as much as he.
I've got to say, like, I actually, speaking of the cosmetics this month, I like them. I don't like them enough to spend money. I'm trying to resist because
Exactly.
I keep having this habit of every month I need to buy at least one of them, and I'm trying to back off.
Yeah.
I mean, every month I'm saying, wow, that's so cool, but not cool enough to buy. And I'm just waiting for the right one to actually go into. But when you actually see it rendered and in the game, you're like, oh, shoot, what the hell?
I didn't get
Why
that.
did I skip that?
What the heck is wrong with me? That actually looks dope. So I don't know.
I think I might get the little pet this month.
Yeah, he is pretty cool.
I think I might, I get myself my own little personal toadstool.
Oh my gosh. So, hold on. I'm trying to get this photo to work for me.
I mean, the hat wouldn't be a bad thing.
Yeah.
Right.
You do a Mad Hatter thing.
Oh my gosh.
Which
Why
is,
do I see
because
you?
he's obsessed with tea, that has a whole new spin on it because he's just got mushrooms
no.
all over the place.
I disagree.
Okay.
I think the helm carries the armor. Like, the armor would be nothing without that helm. Because you could just go around and sell hemp and be like a little mushroom dude who smokes weed or something. I don't know.
Looks like a fungal Raiden.
Yeah. Live in the swamp or whatever.
But yeah, the other little hat that they have is like it's like the Mad Hatter hat, like the top hat, but it's all fungal.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that.
Okay, there we go. I'm getting this up now. Oops. Of course, then I clicked the wrong one. There we go. I'm gonna swap us over to our video share
Alrighty.
format, and let me just find two. There we go. Okay,
Well,
sorry, I'm being picky. There we go. So here's all of the cosmetics as they've shown. And the lore behind them is kind of interesting, actually.
Yeah, and Horrendous has it right there. Clint was asking, do we know when a new interview dev update will be?
Thank you. Oh, one thing before I get too far, keep your eyes on your emails. As of the last time I heard, Steven was thinking of having, not only is he going to be on Simurg's podcast, but he's putting out the creative director's letter on the 13th of April from the last time that I was updated. I heard that on one of the podcasts. So, let me just grab this real quick.
There you
Alrighty.
go, Clint. I just gave you the link over to Simorg's channel there, so.
Thank you so much for that. So this is called From the Undergrowth. A bright and fantastical place populated by winding stems and luminescent spores, the mushroom forests are as lethal as they are beautiful. Sentient fungi plod around the landscape, often indistinguishable from their inanimate compatriots, until after it is too late. Despite the danger, some thrive in this blighted place, nearly becoming one with the land itself. The From the Undergrowth cosmetic add-ons will be available in the Ashes of Creation shop from April 7th, 10 a.m. Pacific time until May 5th, 11 a.m. Pacific time. Don't forget that the Root of Conquest add-ons were already removed as of the 7th, and here we are on the 9th. So sorry about that. We have the I'm gonna butcher this. I'm so sorry. Lumi Lichen Stovepipe, which is the hats. We have the Hefty Kaplan, which is the cute little pet. The Dredgehorn, which is the terrifying spike frog. The Musarian Marshalls, which is the cloak kind of hat with the spores. Hopper's Hall, which is the caravan. And the Mycelian Mansion, which is the housing.
Yeah. And TQQ says, imagine walking through the forest and all of a sudden 4 mushrooms turn on you and whip out 2-handers.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. As a reminder, there is a poll going on right now for the weekly choose your own adventure that is going with the with Ash's creation.
Journey to Alpha 1. Yeah.
Thank you. The Journey to Alpha 1 stuff. So do ! Vote and then ! Bow or sword. I messed up on this, but it was too late. It already was created and I couldn't edit it. So there you go. Whatever you guys.
I did it.
Yes.
Yay.
Just like how Zara did it. Whatever you guys end up choosing, the winning option is what we, Golden Feather, will choose on our official Twitter for the Twitter poll that they have. So in a way, you guys are directing our decision. So our lives are in your hands, if you will. Coming up next, actually, we have something from Ravuda going into the art segment. So let me just change this back over to the fan focus, if you will, the fan focus section. Yes, ! Vote and then ! Your option. I will make sure that I make it easier next time without the second ! I'm trying to pull up Ravuda's thing, but it's not wanting to cast for some reason.
Oh no. That's terrible.
It's being mean. How rude.
Well, I'll go ahead and I'll toss out the link in the chat here at least so people can dig it up.
Super mean. Super mean.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, basically, Ravuda has been putting out some super nifty visuals, and the title of the post is Visualizing Information. And I think every time something's come up here, it's been something we've wanted to share. Like there's a nifty little wallpaper, a couple giant bits of infographic, which if you guys scroll down to the lore one, believe it or not, that looks like little etchings on the plate. But if you open that, it's bleeding huge, and that's a whole lot of little bits of lore just slapped in there. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't look like it until you open the thing up. It's one little image, but it's 33 megabytes.
Wow, it's quite cool.
Gigantic.
You can zoom in on it and it's all that info is there. It's like a timeline?
Yeah, basically.
That's awesome.
I mean, I don't know if it's exactly following the timeline. I didn't look at that.
It says origin till the return, which is pretty kick-ass.
Yeah, if it's already pre-organized, that's amazing.
Yeah, good job.
And then the races thing, but the most recent one that's been added, as far as I can tell here, is the character sheet concepts.
Yes.
These are pretty sick.
Because it's been a while since I touched back in on this, but I believe they are in chronological order, from the bottom one being the oldest. And then it just got newer and newer as it went up. The big old city map one was pretty cool too.
I like how his gilded chocolate cake.
I like it. But yeah, these little character windows here, the little character sheet concepts, they remind me of the old like Marvel trading cards where you'd have like Superman and his little power rating, or not Superman, but like Spider-Man and such, all compared against each other, their little power ratings and their strength and speed.
Yeah. I think they have those at Dave and Buster's. There's like a Marvel fighting game, and you get a little card that comes out of it, and it has like the name of the character. I don't know if it has like its stats or anything, but that is pretty cool.
Oh my gosh. I need to go play now. It's been a while since I've been to a Dave and Buster's. I hope they're all right after this whole plague is over.
Yeah. But I really like this. This is awesome.
Yeah. And hey there, everybody. I saw Zozin. I saw Volga. I saw Crucible Gaming Network.
The guild is representing. Hello.
Welcome in.
Yes,
Volga.
hello.
Hi. I haven't seen Volga in ever. But yeah, so some infographics. Here's the character concept. So starting to think about what your character would look like. Here's a preview character sheet concept layout. For the full-size images, visit the link below. And I just really like Grimgill. Grimgill looks cool. Don't mind my Pinterest overlay. I might have been doing some D&D Pinteresting lately.
She's been pinning.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think you just like him because he's an oracle. And that's what you want to be. So.
Not that at all. Not at all.
A bear.
These are really cool. I like how sleek they are. Oh my
nice
gosh.
and direct.
Encourages
This is
me
probably-
to pass my, digital media course. Crap this
Right?
stuff.
This is probably one of my favorites in terms of housing layout overlays, whatever you want to call it. Because I am absolutely. Oh
I
no!
got timed out.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
The links are set to subscribers only, but here is the link
There you
that
go.
she. Oh,
Tempted to
Vertec was
Nice.
already on it. My
In
bad.
stereo.
But yeah, I absolutely adore cherry blossoms. So, and then so here's the full image. He already gave you the link for that. I am really interested in this one actually. This one looks really cool. I don't know what it is for me. Having I guess I can't really do that. I can't really do that either. Let me try doing this. There we go. Nope, that doesn't work.
I thought
either.
it was neat also with that one. How I'm not sure if he did it on purpose, but it starts more like orange and flamey and dusty in the middle, and it gets more colorful as it goes out.
Yeah,
in the
more
center.
blue.
Yeah.
This is a bad example. I had to redo this really quickly, so I'm sorry. But here's the wallpaper in its entirety. It's really pretty. Not to change topic too much, but on the D&D, will you be playing Baldur's Gate 3? We have been requested to play with some friends some Baldur's Gate 3. But I don't know if we are going to. That's wherever that guy goes, I go with him.
I see it happening. It'll probably happen.
Meanwhile, I'm over here like fanning
Like our
over.
first-
Go ahead.
Yeah, our first priority, we have like 30 more podcasts to catch up because we've been doing the live streams, but we haven't been editing them and getting them up on YouTube. So
Yeah.
that's going to be our first thing is like, oh man, gonna be getting those edited and posted up. As soon as we get that done, then yeah, there's gonna be a lot more game time and jumping in and doing odd streams of stuff here and there and trying to play with the Ashes community too, like pull you guys into games like that.
Yeah, exactly. And here again is that link for his. Please go check it out. Give him some love.
Mhm.
And I think that is pretty much it. Do we have
Yeah.
anything else to cover?
I was going to say on the topic of playing games with people in the community and whatnot, just so you know, both Chibi and I are going to be in the Alpha 1. So when the NDA drops, we are going to be here. We're going to be playing, and we do plan on having at least a couple sessions where we do whatever it is you guys want to do. Like be fully open with trying to explore stuff. If you're unable to get into the Alpha 1 for any reason or just decided not to buy in that deep and you haven't won a key for free, please feel free to swing on by and just say, hey, go check this thing out. And we'll go check
Yeah.
that thing out for you.
And on that note about keys, as we progress, Vertec and I both have keys that we would like to share with you, our community. And as we get closer and as we are actually given extra keys, because they came with our packages.
For beta specifically, not the alphas, unfortunately.
Beta. Yeah. As we get closer and as we get access to those keys, we will be looking to be able to give them out to you. And, we kind of started early. We're keeping track of who's doing what, who's participating, who's coming often. We kind of want to help out people that, maybe are a little less fortunate, but they're very active in our community and with each other. Yes, beta, time will tell. I know right now a lot of you can get the beta key for yourself through these, but it's just a little way of giving back until we can give back better, I guess.
Yeah, and also, by the way, they're Crucible. Yeah, definitely at some point we'll be getting to that, the BDO stuff and do some streaming with that.
Yes. When are we streaming BDO? We're streaming Dream Horse. Oh my gosh, Dream Horses. Don't get me started. Oh my gosh. Crucible. I had a tier, what was it, 7, 8? And it learned 2-seater. And I was like, I'm holding on to this. I can't breed it anymore, but it learned 2-seater. It's my first 2-seater horse. And then I sold it.
Just put it up on the market and it was gone.
I didn't mean to. I turned around and I was like, no, I gotta get my horse off it. And it was just gone. And I was like, no.
Couldn't even cancel it. They make you wait like an hour or something like that before you can cancel. It's crazy. I
was so sad. So I'm working on it now currently. Getting back up there again with the breeding. But yeah, aside from that, let's do a small little wrap up here. Is there anything else that you want to chat about before we go?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. Are you doing a magic trick?
I think she is. She was just trying to disappear. It didn't work too well.
I don't think so. You have to do like basil. You have to like.
Yeah, you have to fade down. Jazz hands don't work. Jazz hands don't work.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, if there's not really much, just want to say Vertec and I are planning on doing more podcasts every Friday. That's a given. But also, hopefully streaming on our own or together occasionally on this channel. We're currently looking at some different layouts for that and maybe spending more time with you guys, because as we get closer to having more non-NDA content to be able to share with you, we would like to share that time with you while we can. Thank you. We actually just got this specific stream layout recently, and I've only, as of last week, added more to it to make it a little bit more.
Yeah, it was still kind of tweaking.
Something. Yeah. It's still tweaking it until we get to a good layout for it. But
yeah. Thank you everybody for stopping by.
I just want to say yes, and thank you for all the new follows and love in the chat. Thank you so much. We super appreciate you. We're happy to see you come here. And please, if you want to see our older stuff, we are in the midst of getting caught up. Vertec has Zozin. That's not even a link.
Oh no, the spamming symbols.
Zozin got shut down.
That was the Zozin.
Love you, Volga.
Yeah. Aw, bye, Volga. Vertec and I are working hard on getting our older podcast videos up. We're up to, as of tomorrow, episode 45, going live at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Man.
Yeah, Crucible, we're trying to put them up in order. So yours are probably going to end up being up on YouTube in like 2 months. Or like about a month or so. Maybe we'll get it up there. But yeah, I think it might still be here up on Twitch. So.
Sorry, Reckless. Yeah.
Yeah, we're really, really behind.
Yeah, like we're on episode 75 as of now, and 45 is going up tomorrow. But we're planning 3 a week at least until we get caught up, and
Yeah, we got
some
like 4
bonus
or 5
ones
this week, so.
Yeah. So, time to hire a favorite editor.
I thought about doing a Fiverr thing. I really did, but I can't bring myself to. I can't bring myself to shovel our podcast to somebody else and have them do it.
Yeah, it's too much love that goes into this podcast for us. Plus, he's the audiophile. He likes things a very specific way. But, you know, hopefully we'll have this all done before we move yet again, because that's what started this whole conundrum in the first place. We moved,
and new jobs and all sorts of stuff.
We had moved last year, so the last one that went up as of last year was August, which is right after we moved. And then we're moving again. It's a long story.
Just across town this time, not across the country.
We were looking for a temporary place because we aren't from where we are now. We were from the
We're in
West Coast,
California, moving
the
to
East Coast.
the East Coast, and we had to find a landing zone. So we picked a place knowing that it was only
just
going to
like,
be a
what's
year.
the cheapest that is, good? That one, we'll go there.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, next month. Nice. Overseas. Oh man, that's a bigger check than we did.
Yeah.
Hopefully it goes fast for you. Alrighty. Well, as always, I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining us, giving us your time and your interest. And any last words before we outro?
Keep it on, guys. Keep doing your thing out there. I know I see you guys day in, day out, hardworking people. You guys got this, okay? And also, I'm the best guild leader ever. You guys can't compare. Goodbye.
Yes.
Mic drop. Like there wasn't even a mic drop. It was just kind of like a mic, whatever.
Or something,
or something. Yes, Crucible. Unfortunately, we are ending now. We are usually about an hour and a half long.
Yeah, about an hour and 20 this time around. But thank you everybody for stopping by. Much appreciated. We love you all, and we're happy you spent your time with us. And as my last off-comment statement, TQQ Flesh. No, I have not heard anything recently about Vampire the Masquerade. Last I heard, there was going to be a game made.
Yeah.
And that's the last I heard about it.
And then it said it wasn't going to be made, or got a new director or something like that. I want to play it though.
Those are going to make me blush.
Ooh.
But keep an eye out. Next week we'll be having Wizzy McNasty on as our guest. And in the meantime, feel free to check out discord.gg/Nexus or at Nexus Commune if you want to keep in touch or, add our guild to your list of interested things. I don't know. Usually it's like somebody's like content creation. I'm like,
it's a little difficult. I understand. Yeah, just join the URL.
Also, Sword was the winner, so we will be going over and choosing Sword after this, and we'll see you next week at 7 p.m. Eastern time. 4 p.m. Pacific
Almost
time.
said Pacific, didn't you?
I did. It's the PDT, EDT, PSE. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see you then. Until then, you have a wonderful night, and feel free to check out the other lovely Ashes of Creation content creators. So,
bye.
Bye.
Bye.